But let's chat and welcome on board Mr. Umesh Chowdhary, the Vice Chairman and MD at Titagarh Rail Systems, joining in on the show right now. Mr. Chowdhary, great to have you today on ET Now. Thank you so much for your time. First things first, I wanted to understand how is it that you think, the business environment is going to be? Because despite a slowdown that one has seen in Indian Railways ordering, the government has raised its targets for wagons and coaches by 27% and 20% in the budget. What is your own outlook on how order inflows are going to be for the remainder half of the fiscal and even for the first half of the next fiscal?
So good morning. Thank you for having me with you. Let me answer your question into a few specific blocks. First thing is, in an industry like railways or in a capital good industry, the things cannot be measured in a very short duration of time. It's not a monthly or a quarterly exercise. It's a longer term exercise. So when we hear about the targets of the railways that they would achieve 3 billion tons by 2030, that should be the data point that we should all keep in mind rather than seeing on a month to month basis, because things can always move a little bit here or there between that period. The second is, as far as ordering is concerned, the railways decided 2 years ago to move from an annual or even a shorter period ordering to a longer period ordering, which gave visibility to the industry, which enabled the railways to plan better. I think it was an absolutely great step, great move from the railways to go for a longer term planning rather than an annual planning or even sometimes 6-monthly planning. So the orders which were placed have to be executed during up to, say, December 25, plus there is a possibility of an option clause, so on and so forth. So ordering does not come on regular intervals. It is more lumpy, then it gets executed, and then the new tranche of orders come in. So the very fact that there's not been very large tenders that have come out is not something which should really bother us too much, as long as the momentum and the direction of the progress or of the target achievement from the railways is continuing to be on the same track.
Good morning, Mr. Chowdhary. This is Cheryl also joining in the conversation. I just wanted to understand, because there are reports that have indicated that you face some execution delays when you talk about delivering wagons, the Vande Bharat train sets, or for the matter of fact, metro rail projects. Could you help us understand what the state is about on that particular front? Any revised timelines that you can give on completion of that?
Absolutely. So again, I would come back to the point that I just made that, in infrastructure, it cannot be on a month-to-month or a quarter-to-quarter basis. But in terms of, all the three segments that you just mentioned about, so as far as wagon is concerned, there has been a problem in availability of wheel sets. So all the Indian Railway wagons that we execute, we have to get the wheels from Rail Wheel Factory, which is owned by the Indian Railways. And they had some production issues over the last, this started ever since October, I would say. So, and this would continue to the end of this quarter, we understand. So there has been a slowdown in getting wheels from there that has impacted our execution for the wagons. The railways have recognized that, and suo moto, they've readjusted the delivery schedules of our wagons accordingly. But we believe this is short term. From another couple of months maximum, this problem should be solved. And the longer term, that's the beauty of this government, that the longer term plan has already been kept into mind when the long term contract for wheels were given to us and Ramakrishna Forging in consortium or in joint venture. So that production will also start in 2026. So this problem of availability of wheel sets, which has been a perennial problem for the last 20 years, ever since I remember, this will be permanently taken care of. As far as Vande Bharat is concerned, there were some issues with respect to whether it will be 16-car configuration or 24-car configuration. That's all resolved. So we are back on track on execution. We expect that, in calendar year Q1 end or Q2 beginning, the first prototype train of Vande Bharat will be made. And metro is already started. The Pune is completed. The Bangalore first couple of trains are ready. First train was dispatched. It was delayed because of the Chinese visa issues, which is now resolved. So, now our facility is fully up and running.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Dasgupta. I was just going to about the situation with respect to the wheel set availability as well as your execution timeline. You did tell us on this one. But Mr. Chowdhary, given the limited competition in the passenger coach manufacturing segment, how well is Titagarh positioned to capitalize on rising rolling stock capex? If you can give us some sense that over there.
Yeah, so absolutely. In the metro space or in the passenger rolling space, rolling stock space, there are essentially three companies that compete: ourselves, BML, and Alstom. And we believe that particularly the focus of the government on mobility, on urban mobility, metros, and all of that, Vande Bharat, it's a real focus area. And what we are doing is we are setting up two separate lines. The metro line, sorry, is already up and running, where we will have capacity of doing up to about 35 cars a month. And we are setting up another one for the Vande Bharat with the equivalent capacity. And we have also decided now to pursue setting up the complete aluminium manufacturing line, which will give us another about 250 cars. So, all told, we are aiming and we will definitely target to become the largest passenger coach manufacturer in the country. And with limited, as you said, competition, even globally, and there is a global shortage. If you look at international companies in this space, they are all sitting in an order book which spans for maybe 5-7 years in execution. So we believe this is a sweet spot that Titagarh enjoys.
Mr. Chowdhary, currently passenger coaches contribute just about 4% to your overall revenues, right? How do you plan to scale this segment, and what kind of a growth trajectory and margin share perhaps in your overall revenue pie can one expect?
So let me give you the potential. The potential, once this is completed, the passenger rail system business. So we have the different businesses under Titagarh. So the freight rail system and the passenger rail system. The freight rail system, we have a capacity of 12,000 freight wagons a year. So, if we operate at full capacity, I'm not giving you any forward-looking projections here, but I'm just giving you the capacity mapping, if you may. So if we operate at full capacity, this gives us a revenue of about 4,500 crores. Whereas on the passenger side, what we are setting up is almost about 850 car capacity with about 10-12 crores per coach, gives us about 8,500 revenue capability. So in terms of the potential that the passenger rail system has is far greater than what the what the freight rail system has for us. Now, obviously, this is a journey that we will have to travel. This is not going to be achieved overnight, and we are continuously ramping up. So maybe in a few years' time, we'll be able to get to a very high level of capacity utilization. So what you see today as 4% is actually a misnomer, because this is a startup, and I always kind of try to take the analogy, although we are not in the we are competing sector of an aircraft. Freight business is on a cruising altitude, whereas passenger has just kind of started to taxi.
All right, Mr. Chowdhary, with this we'll let you go on that. Really appreciate you taking the time out and speaking with us this morning.
Thank you.
But with
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.